So you arrive outside. It's still daytime, but the sun has gone past the mountain a little bit. It's about 4:30, almost 5 o'clock. The party's just about to start. That Chad has said. And yes, their people are coming. It's just...
Are coming?
Yeah.
Or they're there?
Well, they should be here. I'm not quite sure, Chad says. He's like, they're supposed to arrive, they've got their own carriages. And people don't want to come with me. I don't even know why. I mean, we could have all, fit in here. But, I don't know.
I'm starting to wonder why I came in this carriage.
But there's other people coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
There'll be people
And as
here.
you're saying this, he's like, you're pulling up. He's like, look, you can see the walls from here. And sure enough, you kind of look out the windows a little bit, and stupidly high walls for a place like this. It's got really big, thick stone walls. He's like, oh, like I said, guys, it was a fortification. They were kind of building up for that. They gave up on it, and my father turned it into a mansion. So so just don't let it be daunting to you. It's really a nice place. So you pull up to the wrought iron fence, typical fence. It looks a little bit ornate, but nothing too fancy. But he goes up to the door and says, hey, do the thing. And then he gets this whip, it goes whoosh, and hits the hinge. And there's this little mechanism that flips. And as soon as it does, the gates start opening automatically. And it's pretty fancy. It makes that big classic sound. And then kind of a whirring sound as you're going past it, and it just slams behind. It's pretty cool. And now you're pulling up to the front. It takes about another 2-3 minutes to get to the front, and there are people here.
Oh, thank goodness.
There's a group, a smattering of people your age, people that you graduated with, and it's lovely. There's the group that you're seeing before you is actually, let me tell you their names. You know a few of them. You won't know all of them. Lord Dennerith is the first one you spot. He's up on the first or second step, and he's just kind of talking, and he's got his billowing cape, and it's in the wind. You know how people heroes, they always have wind going on? It kind of seems like there's all.
He's a hero?
The kind of person that says, to be
yeah, he's got that whole lord vibe, but everyone kind of likes
But
him.
he's our age?
Yeah, and he actually went to your school. Because there's private schools for lords, or they have it in their own homes. He decided, I'm going to be an important lord someday. I'm going to go and be with you guys. That's the story he tells. I mean, it's not like he's running for lord. He is a lord, It's just the way it is. You also see Alan, who is the class president. His name is Alan Zane. And everyone's just kind of he was cool in high school. High school, university, I guess. We'll just call it high school for the sake of...
University.
Yeah. The high university, as you called it.
The higher learning.
So he was a cool guy, but his time to shine is over, and he knows that. And he's probably just going to go on to be, a blacksmith or something. Nothing too fancy, but...
So what you're saying is he's peaked.
He has peaked. He's not brilliant. He's just there. He's a face.
Okay.
He's cool.
It's a face and a name.
His brother kind of pushed him a lot and made him cynical of love and stuff. So he's just kind of when anyone mentions that, in his speeches, it was always it was just very to the point, Huh?
I bet he didn't love that.
Oh. I'm seriously adding a counter. Anyway, and also you see a couple of the jocks. When I say couple, I just mean people that tried out, didn't quite make it. They probably got in after you when you got kicked out. And
Wait, got kicked out?
We're not talking about that.
We all know the. Chad's like, guys, don't talk. He's obviously shy.
Got kicked off the team?
Yeah, he's introducing you to these people, by the way. That's what he's doing. He's like, oh, and that's so and so, and that's so and so, and he's just half the people you don't recognize. You recognize Eileen Van Isle. She's kind of a rival. She's a good person, but she's always the one that's raising her hand at the same time as you are in class. She's an intellectual like you. She's part of the nerd group, even though
Is she
they're
the
not
one
nerds.
with the peg leg?
And also there's Ash Vieira,
That's
and
Peggy.
you would know her, and also Mo McCracken. And Mo McCracken is also kind of on the punk side of things. They're good guys, good girl. Ash is a girl, she's not a guy. But she's got this deep voice too, so she's you never know, whatever. But she's cool, and they've helped you with certain jobs before in the past. But they kind of finished school, and they got invited for some reason, or
They kind of finished.
I mean, they went.
They were there.
They didn't like
They didn't
excel at the job.
Jinx.
It's amazing. It's so amazing. Anyway, you see a bunch of people, and there's some other people from like merchant guilds and whatever, and they're cool. But you'll meet them in the party, you're sure. But right now, those are the ones you kind of recognize. Anyway, you've probably already left, Chad. But like, what are you guys up to? What are you doing?
Oh.
Yeah, you can be close to me.
Hmm.
You're my wife.
I just
Prestige. Yeah, we'll get there. All right. So what are you guys doing? Who's first one out? Who's going where? Who's doing what? Is you like I said, Lord Denrith is up there giving some kind of speech about, this is just a small place. My place. This is bigger than you know what I mean. He's going off. He's a one-upper. It's kind of his MO.
I approach Lord Denrith
Okay.
and I say, yes, this place is much too small for my taste.
And then he just kind of looks down, ignores you, and continues talking about how his father was planning on tearing this whole place, this whole mountainside apart, and like rebuilding part of the city and beautifying the city, but it never was quite funded the way he wanted it to be. And
Oh yes, much like my father's estate. It's paltry.
And he says, "Don't mind Mr. Debray. If he were any more dull, you'd have to water him twice a week." And he continues doing what he's doing. He's like basically told you you're a houseplant, but intelligence-wise. Anyway, so he's not like being rude. He's just continuing to talk.
that's rude.
Well, sure, that part's rude, but you interrupted the Lord. Most of the time, you get killed. So I mean, that's pretty good.
Jumping in here, I would be sitting back and kind of just without. I'm not being antisocial. I'm more assessing the group and seeing, watching for anything out of place, like any odd social cues. Anyone who's, watching over their shoulder. Anyone who's something like that.
I mean, this is an interesting situation. So,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So it's not that I'm uncomfortable or that I'm withdrawn. It's that
So
I'm.
you're kind of the popular kid that's more like you became popular, but you're not like, you don't feel like you have to like be better than everyone else, or are you along those lines? Kind of like explain how you are, just so I can kind of get a feel of it.
Yeah, so it's more along the lines of, someone who has, the walks the walk and talks the talk and doesn't need to.
You know how to play the role.
I know how to play the role and play the room, see and analyze what's going on.
Gotcha. Cool. Good to know. All right. So Chad comes bumbling in the back, and he comes forward, and he's just like, "Oh, hey guys, sorry. I'm so sorry. How long have you been here?" Lord Dennis speaks up. "Over an hour. You said come at 3. No, I said 5. And he looks at him just with a stern look. "Yeah, I might have said 3. I thought you guys would all arrive late or not come, so I just thought I'd be very like." He's like, "Don't play those games," and he's like, "I'll go open it." So he goes up to the door and he starts to like jiggle the handle, and he's like, he gets out his key and puts it in, and you see like a tiny bit of like a glow, and it just also just stopped, and he like tries to turn it, and he's just like, "It's not working." He starts like banging against it, like moving it a little bit, and then finally it just snaps and then opens. Not the key,
Oh.
the like something that was like jarring it just opened. Okay, so the whole house, just to kind of give you a feel of it, it's not like a log cabin, because when you described it to you, it kind of sounded like you're going up to like a cabin resort. He called it a cabin, but it's much more made of brick and like fine stone. It's got like it's very very nice house. Looks totally out of place. But like I said, the walls are very big surrounding it. It's got like really big pine trees within the grounds, and should be said, there's metal poles with strange like metal grating going around these orbs that are kind of glowing. It doesn't look like it's lit with fire. It looks kind of like an interesting, even magical to a point.
Do I recognize these?
You do, actually. You would. You have a few in your home. They're kind of hard to make and they're expensive, but they're gnomish make, as everything is in this campaign one-off thing. It seems to be. But
Know
they are gnomes. Ding. And
And my father helped build this.
that's right.
Right.
Because this kind of anything that's gnomish made these days comes from inventions. They're full of your father's inventions. Very interesting bits. You'll probably see them throughout. Anyway, so he opens the door and the lights are on. Like he said, his father is going to be home, but he wasn't going to be part of the party. He just was going to be here for just a short bit, and then he's just retiring, which doesn't sound like the best party, as we had just discussed. Like, you invited your dad. But yeah, he's fine with it. He just says, oh, sorry guys, he's going to be here. He's just doing a thing. But, before we get started, I know dinner's being made. It's probably going to be around like 6. And then Lord Dinner speaks up again and says, are you sure? And he's like, maybe you should go check. And there's actually a person standing there, and he's holding a bunch of drinks, and they're these little, they look like, they're not shot glasses, just very thin, small glasses, very fine. They look like they're like frosted, and they look very nice.
And we're in the.
You're in the foyer kind of parlor area as you get here. It's very huge.
So what
it's
else
very
is
open.
in the foyer? Like.
So huge chandelier. It's not antlers. But you see there's a displacer beast that's been stuffed and mounted on the wall. It's like a panther thing with like little tentacles. And there's like definitely a dragon head skull, but it's very small. But beasts that are typically hard to kill, but and hard to hunt, because these things are typically predators. It seems like he has a very specific type that he hunts. Or hunted, or had hunted for him. I mean, you really don't know much about him other than that he's a lord. You do see a few things that would hint that he has a little bit of like a medical background. When I mean medical, I mean like base medical skills. You're not sure just from what you see, like skulls and things like that, but like different types of skulls with different things in them.
As I walk past the dragon head, I'll kind of gesture to that and say, based on this house, it looks like he found the hoard. That's the best explanation I can think of.
And he's like, oh yeah, my dad in his day used to be quite the hunter. He was pretty cool guy. I mean, you should hear his stories. But then he just got boring and old, And then you hear this like, and you see a man in like really fine robes and spectacles that are just down to the tip of his nose, and he's sitting in the corner just reading a book.
Could you recreate that for us?
I'm always recreating it
There you
because my
go.
glasses are constantly being ripped off by my children, so they're just like constantly now falling.
There you go.
Anyway, so he says, "Excuse me," and he's speaking from the excuse me. He has a deeper voice than mine. It's very, very Sean Connery-esque. It's not Sean Connery. Just imagine Sean Connery. We've already came there, so it's Sean Connery.
There's no going back now.
There's no going back now. Lord Govardina is Sean Connery.
That's the word. Govidina. I kept reading that one over and over and over again.
It's a very
Govardina.
foreign. It's a very
I was
foreign.
I was like, I kept thinking Godiva. I was
Godiva.
like, this is a really interesting
Godiva.
family.
Anyway, so you see him
That's all I
kind of
read.
look up from his book, and it's a really thick one, but it looks well worn. So I mean, he's read this book a few hundred times.
Can I see what the book is?
You can roll a history check, see if you notice. We haven't done much rolls because we haven't done much. But
13 plus 1, 14.
yeah, this would be
I
right
guess
up your
yes.
alley. This is a book of like healing, things like that. It's like book 2 to the book you're reading. So it's kind of like you want this book someday.
Oh,
Why don't you just take it from him now?
Anyway, so he notices everyone just staring at him, and he stands up. He's like, well, since my son.
Well done. I expect this from now on. You're setting a
Oh
good
gosh,
bar.
I can't keep it. It's not Sean Connery, guys. If my son won't let me introduce me, then perhaps I'll introduce everyone else. I know who all of you are. I sent you the letters. He did send you the letters. And
That's right, they're very fancy letters.
yeah, the very fancy ones. He signed them himself, so it wasn't just Chad being like, "Hey, go on."
That's probably
Weird
that's
that he
probably
wanted
the
us
whole
at the
reason.
party.
Yeah, that's probably the whole reason that so many people came. Because if it was just like, Chad, hey guys, come
Oh,
to
yeah,
the
they
party,
probably
come
would've
hang
come
out
out.
with me. Probably no.
This one can play.
He says, "Well, we've got some things and fun things you can do now." This is gonna be bad.
I love it. I
There's
love
some
it.
fun things you can do now, but it's over there. You laugh at me. You're just
I'm
more,
digging it.
more points are going to kill you.
No, I'm digging it.
I told
Every
you he's
time-
vengeful.
Every time you laugh, a D6 gets added to the damage.
No, for serious though. For serious.
Forced
For serious, you will all die a horrible and painful death.
as we
There
do.
are some games you could play. Anyway, so he's like,
If you want to play
"There's
a
some
game,
games over there, and you can go out and we're almost ready for dinner," as Chad said. And yes, he told you 3. I don't know why he did, and I don't know why he just picked you guys up. It's very, very bad for my son to show us this way. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll win you back at dinner. But go have some fun. And Chad's like, "Yeah, guys, we did some fun stuff. We got some He's like, "Stop stuttering, son, and just tell him." And he's like,
Do they look alike?
"Yeah, Chad's got a little bit of a white beard, and he's very Scottish all of a sudden."
Chad is?
Chad?
Or his
No.
dad?
I'm just kidding.
What?
No,
I was going to say,
Like-
Chad's dad? I could picture him with a white beard.
No, Chad-
Kind of a round
Chad
fish.
fell far from the tree.
He hit the ugly stick on the way down.
Several.
The ugly branch.
He
on the way out
doesn't
of the
look like
tree.
his dad.
He doesn't. He kind of you got a little bit of the nose and some of the ears, but everything else.
Is he wearing a snapback?
And
He's wearing a flat brim cap.
And did you remember him?
Chad?
Yeah. You
No.
remembered him? No, we didn't remember.
Interesting.
him.
None of you remember
None
him
of-
from your childhood.
Right? None of
Yeah.
us remembered him.
No. But
No,
I mean,
I had
okay.
rolled to remember him.
I disbelieve.
Chad's like, "Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing, guys. I was here, but I was here in the summer. Yeah, we visited in the summer. Most of the time, I just tried to get rid of him with his mother."
That was me. That was Darlene talking. That was me.
Well, either way, that's how
Fine.
Sean Connery would have explained
Okay.
it to
Is it possible to disbelieve any of this?
you. Well, as your character, maybe. But you've probably disbelieved everything with
Do
Chad.
we remember the dad?
Oh yeah,
No?
you've seen him around town. Everyone knows him. You've seen Chad at school, but you haven't seen Chad as a kid. At least that you remember. Most of the time, you probably just ignored him. All right, so
Says
He shows
kid
you the
that
way.
sits in the back of
oh, by
class
the
and
way,
eats his own boogers.
he's serving out drinks, and he was just the servant was kind of standing there, and just he's wearing actually a masquerade mask, and there's a bunch of masquerade masks at the front, but really, really weird ones. Maybe a half coyote mask, or a
Half
That's
coyote.
wild.
or
Like a half
horse.
mask that's a high
It's
coyote?
it's
or-
half a mask, and
Oh.
and there's it's
'Cause I was
got
half
part
coyote,
of the
half
nose.
what?
Half you
And
yourself.
there's a wombat, there's a wombat and a badger and a weird
A
bird.
unicorn?
No unicorns.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Those things are too majestic to kill, and they are real. Anyway, so
Wait. The masks are made from animals?
it's a bit taxidermied, but they're really fancy. They're clean. They're not like bloody or anything. They're not we freshly made
they're-
these this morning.
So it's
Probably kills he had done himself and then sent out. But they're really nice looking, but kind of a little creepy. But anyway, he says, "Oh yes, we'll have a little dance after dinner, but first, games."
Kind of like Fantastic Mr. Fox, kind of weird.
A little bit on that side, but you're getting a little bit of vibe of he really is proud of his hunts. He really took pride in everything he
I'm
kills.
starting to feel a little
Uneasy, right?
Yeah.
Well, Sean Connery will do that to anyone.
Can I do
No, Sean Connery
He'll slap
will
a-
make anyone a little weak in the knees.
Can I do some kind of
He's a
insight
man's
check or
man.
something on him?
Yeah,
'Cause
well,
he's
you can
kinda-
always roll an insight check on people.
9 plus 5.
You actually find him quite handsome.
That's my insight.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah, you find him quite.
Is that he's
I'm not done, but you find him quite. He's
It's
handsome.
because I'm a girl, and I'm just
He
kidding.
finds him handsome too.
I
Don't
say.
put words in my mouth.
I say. I am all of a
I'm just gonna
bother.
stop there. Okay, so he you see he's quite handsome. He's just an alluring gentleman. He seems like a really interesting person. And the books he has on his wall, just you can tell this is not the only section of his house that will have books. That type of person. He's well learned. Learned or learned?
He done learn good.
He
You
did
done
it.
learned it.
That's right.
Anyway, so everyone starts drinking a little bit of the drink, oh, that's really nice. And he's like, okay, let's go, guys.
I'm not gonna drink any of it.
Okay. You guys already drank when you got here. I'm on the way up.
That's It's true.
All right, so
But it was wine.
yeah, it was like strawberry wine.
And
It was
this is
corked.
different.
Yeah, this was a port drink.
Vince, that
Yeah.
chat's going to kill us.
You
no,
did
I'm
say
right
that.
there. It's his. It's very much his personality is putting us
Yeah.
all on edge.
Yeah. And
Interesting.
then the weird animals and I don't know. The
Well, this place
skulls.
gets cheerier. Don't worry. So as you walk,
I don't know. I just kind of
you
weird.
walk down this long parlor, and there's books and all these beasts. And I mean, I could tell you all the beasts, but just imagine the D&D book, Monster Manual, and he's got like a lot of the smaller ones, like pretty weird ones too. Anyway, so you open up these large doors, and you see before you a little fighting ring that has like two swords sitting in the ground, but they're wooden. You see a bucket on top of a mannequin head. You see like a what's it called? Dagger throwing thing. I mean, there's a whole bunch of games all set up. And he said, "This is just so
Do
we
they
can
not
get
work?
to know each other." Oh, that's all right. You don't need him. Actually, you might. Anyway, you see a bunch of games before you, and Lord Denrith actually walks over to the fighting ring area, picks up one of the
Oh, I thought he
the
left.
wooden rapiers and was just he's looking it over, and he kind of points at everybody. He's like, "Why not? We're here." And a bunch of other students are just like, "Oh, if he's gonna do it, then I guess we should too." And everyone kind of walks.
Who?
Lord Denrith.
Oh, that guy. I thought you were talking about Chad's dad still.
No,
He left.
he would talk like this.
Where did his dad go?
He stayed there reading a book. They're getting food ready.
Oh, okay.
He said they're gonna meet for dinner after games. So who's playing what? If you want more of a thing, let me tell you what they are.
More of a thing?
Oh, like a list of the
More
games.
of a thing.
You know, more of a thing. The thingy thing. Pay attention. Alright, there's arm wrestling. It's a test of strength. Knife throwing. Test of dexterity. 3 called Monty. Wisdom. I'm just saying, like, to help you out.
I'll do that one.
Wood chop. Dual ring. And a mannequin bucket head. And Chad is standing by that one like, guys, I made this one. Someone's got to play it. And he's like, oh, did I mention? We're playing for prizes. And everyone's like, what? He's like, yeah. We got like these really cool artifacts. Because we're like, hey, we're all going to go on and be like, some of us are going to be adventurers. And you always hear the stories that adventurers had like these magic things. So my dad would like, he went around and like, father went around looking for like all the cool stuff in town and all around. And he bought them all up. So if you guys want to play, you can only win one, but there's like I think there's like 6. So we put him in this bag here, and you hear him shaking. It's like it's jingling and clanging. Anyway, so who's picking what? Or are you playing it all? What are your characters doing? What would you do?
I'm gonna wait and see what other people do first.
Well, Lord Denrith is standing in the middle, and he actually stops his sword and he points at you.
At me.
Yeah, and he just like. He kind of smiles. It's a very like charming smile. He's gonna roll persuasion with that smile.
Do you find him handsome?
I say.
14 plus 3.
Oh my.
Can you beat a 14 plus 3?
Persuasion. What am
You
I
just
rolling
you
against
just roll
with?
persuasion against it. Like,
I roll my own
are
persuasion.
are you more persuasive than he is? Will you withstand
Am
his?
I persuaded?
That's
to do
what I'm
something? 11.
You
Do
feel
you find him handsome?
not like necessarily. You don't feel like compelled, but you kind of feel like called out. I guess your character would feel more called out than like charmed. You don't have to, but you feel like it's one step. You're basically taking one step closer without much of a challenge. You can still resist, but like.
Alright, whatever.
Alright, so you go. Do you pick up the wooden rapier, or you go in like fists against his?
Is that an option?
You can do whatever you want. How would you fight Lord Denrith?
I know how I would.
And Chad's like, oh guys, I used to play this all the time with my dad. He beat me all the time. Like, I'm not like beat me, but like you beat me in this. Sorry, I gave you the wrong impression. Of my
You will not do that
You'll get better
again.
now.
I'm actually going to
So
take the rapier two-handed.
okay, so you have to hit the head for 5 points, chest 2 points, and limbs are 1 point.
Okay.
So it's not like you're trying to kill them, but you wanna like it's
But you
point-
Subdual.
to.
It's
But
subdual
you
damage.
want to like hit them. You're not like bam, like breaking the stick on their heads. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Do
Good.
it!
It's a gentleman's
Well,
game.
it's-
People
well-
get bloody.
It's a good thing I'm not playing
Yeah,
this one.
you could wreck him.
No. That's the one where you just run and tackle him.
Headshot.
Probably not appropriate for a
You
party.
killed the Lord.
So, so there are rules, or there are
Hey,
so
not
there isn't.
rules.
There are rules, but it's not here. This is a game that you'd see all the time, people playing.
So I'm actually gonna fight two-handed, because I want a strength advantage.
Okay.
On
So
my
instead
fight.
of being like finesse with it, you're
Right.
gonna like try to bring it hard on him.
Yeah.
All right. You're.
So he does want to hurt
He
him.
does. Definitely. Okay. All right. All right. Roll initiative. 18.
16.
All right. He goes. So as soon as you step into the ring, he goes for a swing.
Is it bad that
And he's a little put off by your like brazen like ability, and you kind of come in with like kind of like a feint, and he like slips a little bit. He like lands on his like back leg and stands up again, and then he's just like getting prepared. Feels a little stupid, but
It's because he is stupid.
so what did you roll?
Oh.
9. That he parries it just barely, but he has to like.
Let's see. Do I add proficiency?
You would. So in this case,
Simple martial.
yeah, you're good with
Simple
both of these.
marshmallow?
Yes, he's simple with.
I am
this would be
proficient with simple marshmallows.
This would be a martial weapon, and so you're
Not
going
those
to be
complex
proficient. So you add your proficiency plus your strength.
11.
Okay. This in this case, let
proficiency
me see
plus
that.
your strength?
What?
Proficiency plus strength.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm with you. I wasn't reading your dice. Sorry. It's not my place.
11. No, he manages to get away from it and comes in with his own strength. He misses. So you're just deflecting back and forth. It's actually he's surprised at how good you can tell already.
This is a fight. Let's see. 21.
Ooh, headshot. So how you hit?
Two-handed headshot.
So how you doing it though? Like, because that was a straight-on hit. That's past what you needed to get a headshot.
I imagine like I'd whack him on the temple.
So you kind of do like a spin attack, hit him in the temple.
Yeah.
You see him. I'm gonna see if he recovers from that. Okay, he manages. He
kill him?
manages to stay upright, but you see him like,
He insulted me.
yeah, you see him
And
immediately
then he
grab
tried
the
to
side
call
of
me
his
out.
head,
He's picking a fight.
All right.
It's his fault.
and he kind of smiles it off and kind of laughs, and some of the girls are like, because there's one girl especially, she's kind of like the cheerleader type, Stefania, and you know her.
Stephania.
Yeah, that's literally her name.
Oh.
By the way, most of the names were picked by subscribers. Anyway, you're in the game and you might die. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, if he comes at you two-handed with a stick, you might die.
Lord Denrith might die. Anyway, so Lord
Is that who
Denrith,
this is? Lord Denver?
he recovers,
Ah,
but he
that
comes
makes
in.
more sense. I
he
thought it
comes
was
with
Chad.
a-
I was
this
like,
is-
I'm ready for that.
This is a bit of a vendetta. So.
He immediately comes back with like a feint. He comes down towards your chest, and you go to block him. He quickly spins it and like hits you right in the forehead and like pushes you back. It's like a finesse move. So you both are
Nice.
sitting at 5 points, and everyone stopped playing games and they came over and they're like, "What's going on?" All right, your turn.
Oh man, that's gonna be 20.
That's a headshot again.
Oh boy.
You have to get 18 or higher to get a headshot. You're sitting in the 20s.
Yes, sucker.
All right, so how you doing this one? So he just poked you in the head and pushed you back. You got a little,
That's demeaning.
you got a little mark right here. It was purposefully to me.
What's
So he was distracted trying to poke me in the head. I'm coming straight down on his head.
So as soon as you poke, you just come down. All right, that's 5 points. All right, he comes in again. He doesn't hit you in the head this time. He kind of like does this like spinning attack, like hits you in the chest, and then comes back up again and like points it at you. He's ready. All right, your turn. Natural 20. How do you want to finish
yeah,
him?
boy.
This is your finishing blow. You're not killing him, but
right.
Actually, no. What do you want to do?
No, I don't want to kill him.
Okay, so this
No.
is damage to.
Right. No.
To stop.
I'm gonna crack him 2 more times in the head and then finish on his neck. Just not like breaking his neck.
You see
but
him. You see him drop to the ground, like land on his back, like his butt, and then fall to his back and just kind of lay there for a second. His eyes are open. He's just